welcome to another edition of the Hardline Curling Show. We've got another great show for you this week. On this episode, the field is set for the 2025 Scotties Tournament of Hearts, while a few more men's teams punch their tickets to the Montana's Brier. Anticipation builds for a new All Star showcase. Teams in the United States and Sweden shoot for a national championship, and World Curling breaks its silence on Foamgate. All of that, plus we catch up with four-time Scotties champion Kerri Einarson. The ice is fresh, so let's start the show. We are just a couple of weeks away from the opening draw of the 2025 Scotties Tournament of Hearts in Thunder Bay, and we now know all 18 teams that will be competing for the National Women's Championship. The remaining provincial qualifiers earning their spots last week. Let's go west to east, starting in British Columbia, where Corn Brown's rink from Kamloops defeated Victoria's Kayla McMillan to capture its third provincial title. This will be Brown's fourth Scotties appearance overall after being a wildcard entry last year when she finished with a 4-4 record. Next door in Alberta, Kayla Skrlik earned her second trip to the national championship with a win over Nikki Kaufman in the provincial final. Skrlik's team from Calgary went 4-4 in this Scotties debut in 2023. Meanwhile, in Saskatchewan, where the women's and men's national qualifiers were held simultaneously for the first time, Saskatoon's Team Nancy Martin downed Team Jolene Campbell of Regina to earn the coveted green jacket. Martin getting over the hump after losing the previous two provincial finals. This will be her first Scotties as a skip, but she played third with Kerri Einarson in 2021. Over to Manitoba, where Kate Cameron will be making her 8th trip to the Scotties and her second as a skip for the province. The former third for Michelle Englot and Laura Walker skipped her first Scotties team last year as Manitoba Cameron and made it all the way to the semi-final before losing to Jennifer Jones. Meanwhile, another familiar face will be representing Northern Ontario as Krista McCarville is set to compete in her 12th national championship. The Thunder Bay skip is still seeking her first Scotties title, but she's been close to winning it before, making the final twice, most recently in 2022. Ottawa's Danielle Inglis is set to return to the Scotties for a second straight year at the helm of Team Ontario. She posted a 3-5 record last year in her first national championship as a skip after making two previous trips as an alternate. Meanwhile, Prince Edward Island will be cheering on Jane DiCarlo, who captured her second provincial title with a win on the final shot by fourth stone thrower Veronica Main. And last but not least, Newfoundland and Labrador, where Brooke Godsland punched her ticket to Thunder Bay with a 10-4 victory over Kerry Valtour. Let's move to the men's side now, where some spots of the Montana's Brier are still up for grabs, but a few more qualifiers emerged last week. This year's Brier is being played in Kelowna, BC, and the host province will be represented by a skip making his first appearance at the national championship. Victoria's Cameron DeYoung claiming his first provincial title with a win over Glenn Venance from Penticton. While DeYoung is a Brier rookie, third Alex Horvath will provide some Team BC experience after playing with Caitlin Schneider at last year's Brier and Jacques Gauthier the year before. In Saskatchewan, a familiar face is set to make his Brier debut. 2019 World Junior Men's Champion Rylan Kleider and his Saskatoon rink punched its ticket with a win over 10-time Brier participant Steve Laycock in the provincial final. Team Kleider has been knocking on the door over the last couple of seasons, losing in the Saskatchewan final to Mike McEwen last year. Kleider and his mixed doubles partner Brittany Tran also finished fourth at the recent Olympic trials. Speaking of familiar faces, another one donning some new colors this year as John Epping will lead Team Northern Ontario. Epping's first three Brier appearances were under the Ontario flag, with his last coming in 2021. His best finish was a bronze medal as a Brier rookie in 2018. And we'll see another rookie wearing those Ontario colors this year as Sam Moeybrook upset defending champion Scott Howard 7-4 in the provincial final. The young skip also competes at the U Sports level for Wilfrid Laurier. Tyler Smith will be making his fifth consecutive appearance representing PEI and fourth as a skip, and he's a potential dark horse after posting his best result last year. Well, he fell just short of the championship round with a 5-3 record. And finally, in Newfoundland and Labrador, with Brad Gushu returning once again as Team Canada, the door opened for Ty DeLello to earn that province's Brier slot. DeLello knocking off Andrew Simmons to qualify for his first national championship. That leaves 4 Brier berths still to be filled, including a couple of big ones with Alberta, Manitoba, New Brunswick, and the Northwest Territories as well, yet to determine their representatives for the national championships. We will fill in those blanks in the next week or two. Joining us now is someone who knows a thing or two about competition on the national stage. Kerri Einarson won 4 straight Scotties titles from 2020 to 2023 and is now preparing to make her 8th appearance overall at the national championship. This time as a skip for one of the 3 pre-qualified wildcard teams. Kerri, thanks for being here.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Of course, we're just a couple weeks out now from the Scotties. How are you guys feeling as you get set to chase another title?
Oh, we're feeling pretty good. We've had some really good, solid practices recently with Carly and Lauren and Kristen. And Val's going to come in soon. She's going to fly in early, and we're going to do some training with her. So we're really looking forward to it.
Now, you have lots of experience preparing without having to go through sort of the provincial route and the provincial playdowns. How is preparation different knowing you already have that spot versus having to sort of earn it through those playdowns?
Yeah, it's definitely a little more laid back. You get to watch the play downs and see what's all unfolding and the excitement of that. Um, and then while they're all playing off, you're doing some training on the ice too. So we've definitely been preparing while also watching during practicing and had our phones all out there to see who was winning what and what was happening. So it was pretty exciting.
Is there something to be said about, all that preparation and rest even and whatnot versus that momentum when you win that provincials and head right to the Scotties? How do you sort of contrast and compare the two?
Yeah, it's nice to have that momentum also going into it. But it's also really important to have that rest and recovery. We have such a grueling season. It starts really early and it ends late. So it's nice to have that few weeks leading into the Scotties to have some rest and spend some quality time with the family.
Now, the last few years, of course, you were the defending champs thanks to that incredible run. This year, you're going to be that wild card Manitoba team. First time since 2020 that someone else will be wearing the Team Canada colors. Does that change the mindset at all, or do you still feel like there's a bit of a target on your team's back?
I'm sure there's still a target on our back. Everyone still wants to go out there and beat us. They always play their absolute best. So we know that we're going to have to bring our A game every single game. And we know what it takes to win. And it's not going to be easy, that's for sure. But we're going to give it our all out there.
And now, of course, some lineup changes. You recently added Carly Burgess. What led to that sort of connection, and what does she bring to the team?
Yeah, unfortunately, Shannon had to step away with her knee injury. We definitely missed her, that's for sure. And after she had told us that she would have to sit out the rest of the season, that we had to brainstorm some more options to fill her shoes. So we all came together and we thought, well, how about Carly? All we can do is ask and see what happens. And we asked Carly, and took her a couple weeks to get back to us. But she got back to us and said yes, that it would be a great opportunity for her. And we're super excited to have her. She brings knowledge of the game, the excitement, and her energy. She's a great shot maker. We've played one event so far with her, and she was great. Great teammate, and yeah, they've had a lot of success too at the Scotties the last few years, losing the final, and so they have some experience under their belts. And she's going to be a great fill.
Was there a previous connection that anybody had with Carly that led to her being the one you reached out to, and how has the fit been with her so far?
No, actually, there was no connection. We just knowing her from playing against her and seeing her off ice, and just having like a little bit of chats here and there when we play against them. But yeah, no real connection. We just know that she's a great shot maker and a great sweeper. Her judging is great as well. So she's just all around a great teammate.
Of course, you started off the season winning the first Grand Slam event, another victory at the Seville Grand Prix. Of course, your team is currently ranked number 2 in Canada, number 5 in the world. How would you assess the season so far and what you guys have been able to do?
I think giving the challenges that we've been through this season, only playing with 50% of our current team, it was. It was actually pretty good, all things considered. We had fill in every single event. It was challenging, but we just embraced it and had fun with it. And bringing in someone new and different, it was exciting too. But yeah, it had its challenges. We definitely missed Shannon and Brianne, so it was tough.
Going back to Thunder Bay, I imagine you have some fond memories of playing there and winning the last time. What will it be like to go back there and try to do it again?
Well, I think Thunder Bay will be a little different this time. We're allowed to have some fans and family and friends in the stands, so it won't be as quiet. I know we got to have like a few for like the final day, but that was about it. So it's definitely going to be a packed house, that's for sure, and it's going to be loud because I remember even with it just having just a little bit of fans in there, it was super loud. So I'm prepared to probably lose my voice again.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to watching, and best of luck, and look forward to seeing you guys in action. Thanks again for taking some time to join us tonight.
Thank you so much for having me.
Each year, the Scotties and Brier Championships select their tournament all-stars, but now curling is getting a bona fide all-star game of its own. It's yet another innovation from the Curling Group, the same outfit that now operates the Grand Slam of curling. The All-Star Showcase will take place on April 15th and 16th in Nashville, Tennessee, following the final slam event of the season, the Players' Championship. It'll include a celebrity pro-am, a skills competition, and an all-star skins game featuring the top 4 men's and top 4 women's players based on their performances on the slam circuit this season. And curling fans can have their say in who those players will be thanks to a fan vote. You can cast your ballot for your favorite lead, second, third, and skip on the Grand Slam Curling website and app. You can vote once a day, and every vote earns an entry into a draw for a signed All-Star jersey. Fan voting is already open and will continue through March 10th. We'll have more on the All-Star event in the weeks to come. Time for a break. When we come back, we'll share the World Curling Statement on broomhead covers and update you on the USA and Swedish national championships.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. The hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for. And all those voices trying to tear me down, I'm here to silence them. We've given everything we have for a chance to get everything we want.
The live sports experience is changing. Teams and facilities are under pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. IKS Live has the right team to deliver. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience, in the seats or streaming to you. IKS Live continues to bring you the best seat in the house.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
After weeks of debate over the use of some controversial new broomhead covers, World Curling has finally weighed in, saying that no rules are being broken by teams using the gear. For a refresher, in early January, a group of 30 teams published what they called a proposal for fair play in curling, which claimed that certain new head covers featured a type of foam that, when used in competition, gave teams an unfair advantage due to its significant impact on the speed and direction of rocks traveling down the ice. The document named a trio of equipment manufacturers, Goldline, Hardline, and Balance Plus, but last week Balance Plus responded with a strongly worded statement claiming that the proposal was rooted more in corporate interests than a desire for fair play. Balance Plus also felt that Team John Epping, which uses its gear, was being unfairly singled out, and even went as far as saying that some of the players and teams who had supposedly signed off on the proposal didn't consent to having their names attached. That brings us back to World Curling, which released a statement on January 24th saying that it conducted a thorough review of information presented by the players group and determined that all approved equipment, including the new style of foam covers, meets its standards and that no products need to be removed from competition going forward. The statement goes on to say that World Curling updated its equipment specifications last June and that recent tests conducted in December showed that all products currently in the use fall within those specifications, even going as far as saying a full breakdown of the testing data. World Curling also says that an additional, albeit brief, review of the new covers took place at a recent Grand Slam event in Guelph, Ontario, featuring members of the World Curling Athlete Commission and various Grand Slam players. It found no conclusive evidence to warrant the removal of any equipment from competition. The governing body did pledge to organize a more extensive brush testing forum later this year that will include elite-level athletes in the scientific testing process. It also pledged to continue working with stakeholders within the curling community to improve equipment standards and make equipment approval process more robust, something that the players had called for in their proposal. You can read the full statement at worldcurling.org, and of course, we will keep you posted on any further developments should they arise. Back to the ice, where it's not just Canada getting set to crown its national champs in the coming weeks. The United States and Sweden are both in the midst of their national championships as we speak. South of the border, the U.S. Nationals taking place in Duluth, Minnesota, home of the 2018 Olympic gold medalist and 9-time men's champion, John Shuster. He's looking to do something he's never done before, and that is three-peat. Incredibly, this is his third shot at accomplishing the feat after falling just short in both 2007 and 2021. In fact, 2021 is the only year out of the last 5 that Shuster didn't win the title. Corey Dropkin claimed the hardware that year, and the Grand Slam vet will be in the mix again this year trying to knock off the 2-time defending champion. On the women's side, Tabitha Peterson has been nearly as dominant as Shuster in recent years, winning 3 of the last 4 national titles. She too is gunning for a three-peat in Duluth and her 5th national championship overall, with the first one coming back in 2012. Peterson has been a finalist on 4 other occasions, so will it be Shuster and Peterson with their matching three-peats, or can someone else break through? We will let you know next week. The finals are set for Sunday, February 2nd. If you want to follow along, visit usacurling.org. Meanwhile, over in Sweden, Anna Hasselborg looking to continue her strong season with a 3rd straight national women's title of her own and 7th overall. She's coming off a win at the WFG Masters a couple of weeks ago, so the team is primed for another strong run. The only skip who's been able to knock off Hasselborg off top of the Swedish mountain in recent years, Isabel Rana, who won the title in 2018 and 2022, finishing 2nd 4 other times, with 3 of those losses coming against Hasselborg, including the last 2 years. However, regardless of what happens at the Swedish Nationals, Team Hasselborg will be the country's representative at the World Championships, as they've already earned enough points to be named the Swedish top-ranked team this season. As for the men's, folks who watch the Grand Slams may think it's just been Niklas Edin winning year after year, but in fact, he hasn't won a national championship since 2020 when he claimed the 7th of his impressive career. However, unlike Canada, the winner of the national championship in Sweden isn't always the team that goes on to the Worlds, and Edin has still represented his country at 5 of the last 6 World Championships, thanks to his team's performance on the tour. The defending Swedish men's champion is Fredrik Nyman, who won the title for the first time in 2024. Well, that about does it for another week. Thanks again to Kerri Einarson for spending some time with us. Remember to follow along on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to keep up with all the latest news. You can also find every episode of the show on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Our next episode comes your way on February 7th. Until then, thanks for watching and good curling.